Yes, my people, welcome back to the Tactical Insight, where we'll be breaking down the victory from Arsenal against Aston Villa yesterday night. I'm joined by Graham. Graham, how are you? 100% record from Arsenal, still sitting at the top of the Premier League table. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm always great when Arsenal win and Spurs don't. So, so that's the first thing to say, Cecil. A typical Arsenal performance, what is becoming now a typical Arsenal performance, synonymous with the way we're playing at the moment. First half, totally dominant, energy, intensity, aggression, technical security, technical quality, but lacking a clinical edge. Should have been more than one goal up at half time. Second half starts, a drop in intensity for 15-20 minutes. Villa get their equaliser, but the one thing about this team is, in moments of adversity, or when they're challenged at the moment, they're responding. We go straight back down the other end and get the winning goal. We have the belief, the desire to go and get the winning goal. And before we go into the match stats, I just want to talk about that winning goal just briefly. Because the thing is, when football teams normally concede a goal, they normally lose energy. You know, but this team doesn't. This team does not. They always have the belief. So when we kicked off, I think we won a free kick. Lokonga plays it forward. Jesus is challenging for the ball, loses the ball. But the one thing I like about our team is it's 1-1. There's less than 10 minutes. Can we respond and do something when they've equalised? You saw then Jesus, 10 minutes from the end of the game, literally rush into press, joined by Odegaard and Xhaka. Odegaard, who's carrying a slight knock through the over-physical approach of Aston Villa last night, Cecil. They literally closed Konsa down so quickly that he had to play it back to Martinez. Martinez goes long. It goes to Gabriel. Gabriel then picks the ball up and he floats a delicious pass out to Martinelli. We work it to the right-hand side. Saka and Tommy. Saka, who wasn't having his greatest game, where he had some moments, still has the belief to get it back to the back stick. And then Gabriel Martinelli arrives. That is a difficult technique. He has to get that on target. He does that, Cecil, and we win the game. It was it was a fantastic win, and we've retained now our sort of like top place in the league, 5 wins out of 5.
100% record. Now, I do want to quickly highlight, you mentioned there about the belief from the players, and it feels it's definitely different from the Arsenal team getting back. Just something I have to mention, I was in the stadium yesterday, and when we conceded and they got that equaliser, the Arsenal fans did a round of applause, and I saw people standing up and getting so loud and supportive of the team, which I haven't seen. I thought it was like a minute's applause for someone, but we were just behind the team to get them back into it. We were trying to encourage them, and we bounced straight back. So that was something I haven't witnessed.
Well, there's a great unity now between the fans and the players, and this is the energy that that Arteta has created in the team and in the fan base. And I noticed it when I was in the stadium on Saturday against Fulham. That energy from the crowd to the players responding, and it's always like they have a setback and then they don't seem bothered about it. They just go straight back down the other end and get another goal. And we're going to talk about this today, the fact that when we concede, we are quickly responding, aren't we? We're going to talk about it later. But in the end, we got that result. It was fully deserved. You couldn't argue it wasn't.
100% agree. Let's get to the match stats then. Let's break down what we saw. So you're coming up right now, as you can see. Shots 22 for Arsenal, 4 for Aston Villa. Possession in favour of Arsenal, 59.6% and 40.4 for Villa. 61 deep touches for Arsenal, only 15 for Aston Villa, and 26 in zones, 14 for Arsenal and 2 for Aston Villa. And then XG 2.96. So really leaning towards that. We should have maybe had, like Graham mentioned at the start, they should have got more goals. And we had
a bigger XG last night than Man City had in the 6-0 win over Nottingham Forest. Did you know that?
No way.
Amazing.
Really?
Yeah. So
that was something. I didn't see that one coming. He pulled that one out.
Totally dominant performance by Arsenal, Cecil. 22 shots to 4, possession, dominated possession. I always talk about offensive areas. I think it's very important because what this team does at the moment is the way Arteta's got them playing, with the technical security, the technical ability of the players, we are getting the ball, progressing the ball into these final third areas on a regular basis, right? I think the one thing we lack, as I say, when we get into these areas, we should be making more of it. And we had 4 big chances in the first half before we scored. Gabriel, Saka, Odegaard and Jesus all had chances. Villa were literally throwing bodies on the line last night, Cecil, defending like mad to try and keep it down, I admit that. But we were totally dominant, getting the ball into these areas where we can create the technical quality and the technical security of this team, the aggression of the team to win it back when they lose it, and to push Villa back. Villa played a 4-3-3 last night, a very narrow midfield. We used the wide areas really well. Saka and Martinelli, we're going to talk about that on their heat maps later. We use those wide areas really well to pin them back And it just shows that we're getting into these attacking areas now on a consistent basis with progressive passing. We've got some elites, well not elite, maybe that's a bit generous, but I'm saying quality centre-backs who can pass the ball. Look at the difference between Gabriel and Saliba to Mings last night, you know, and you saw that. And then we've got a system last night. We're going to talk about Sambi Lokonga's brilliant performance when he came in at number 6. He's created a system last night where Sambi can thrive and thread those balls through into these areas. This is the best technical, secure, technical quality football I've seen from Arsenal in a long time. I've been watching Arsenal for a long time. I was so impressed. That first half last night, I was so excited watching the team play.
I love the way you speak. I love how positive and radiant you are of this Arsenal side, because I feel exactly the same, Graham. I haven't seen football from an Arsenal side like this in such a long time, and I think elite was... I think that's not generous. I think that's the right way to put it, because, like you said, Aston Villa did a 4-3-3. They tried to match up with us, and if you look at their side, they've got good players, but they just couldn't keep up with Arsenal.
They got a lot. The referee allowed them to kick us last night. That's disappointing about.
As well,
and we're going to talk about it later. But ultimately, I just think we got players who are. The way we build up now, he puts players in positions where they can sort of express themselves and play they want to play. It's a joy to watch the way we're playing at the moment. It's exciting to watch the way Arsenal play, progress up to this final third. I just think we need to be a bit more clinical.
Yeah, I worry for us. I worry for teams that try and come and play against Arsenal and play good football, because I feel like we can outplay most teams, especially from what I'm seeing so far. Let's look at the final third entries and how dominant we were in these top areas, Graham, because I know you want to touch on this. So obviously the numbers are coming up on your screen right now. Final third entries: attempted 59, completed 41, passing rate of 69.5%, carries 16, and possession with the final third entry is 51.4%, Graham.
Do you know what? These are mad, these stats. And we should have scored more goals. This is the final third entries. Teams score 3 or 4 goals with these sort of stats. Yeah. Man City scored 6 with far less than this last night. I'll repeat that stat.
Yeah, that is...
I'm just saying, this just shows how good we are in build-up. He's developed a system now where we're playing 3-2-5, 2-3-5. The way he got a system last night that worked for Sambi, where Xhaka was either advanced with Martinelli or back in a 2 in a pivot with Sambi, or White was back in a 3 or moving next to Sambi. He's created a system where we can build up and pass round teams. We're passing through teams.
Yep.
Progressive passes. If you could go to that next stat, we've got the final third.
Yeah, the final third passes completed versus the passes attempted.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to see some of the players in their numbers
so
there.
we mentioned about Sambi Lokonga here. 6 progressive passes. We had this conversation, me and you, actually on Monday, about the role of the number 6. You were saying that, and then he's very safe, keeps it ticking over. I said at my number 6, I wanted somebody who could sort of like thread a ball through, more progressive with his passing. And if you look at Sambi's numbers there, 6 progressive passes from his number 6 role. Martinelli, 6 progressive passes. Saliba, 4 down the bottom there. So plenty of progressive passes from players in different parts of the team. So shows that players have got technical security on the ball and can punch the ball through into the final third.
100%.
Get our forward players on the ball.
Which I think a lot of people did question with Lokonga there, and we had El Neni in there before. A lot of people doubted him, saying it's always sideways passes, always sideways and backwards. But again, when you see Lokonga stepping in there, he's top of this chart here with 6 progressive passes that led to many chances from Arsenal as well. And I know we're going to move on to the final third passes from other players completed and passes attempted, which will come up on your screen now. Of Ben White, obviously with 8 completed passes to attempted, which was 9. Gabriel 7 to Gabriel 7 as well, so he completed 100% record there. Xhaka 7 completed passes and passes attempted was 8. Tierney 7 to your left there, completed, and then Tierney got 11 passes attempted. Lokonga 5 and 6 there.
If you look at this, on the right there is the attempted final third passes, and on the left is the completed final third passes. So obviously, I talked about our centre backs. If you look there, White, such a good passer. He's almost like a midfield player where he's playing now. Attempted 9 final third passes, completed 8. Gabriel at the back, something like 93% passing accuracy. 7 attempted, 7 completed, and he was the one who floated the long ball out to Martinelli for the winner. He was outstanding last night, a leader from the back. Granit Xhaka, what an imperious performance from him last night. Attempted 8 final third passes, completed 7. He was up high. His combination play with Martinelli was a joy to see, but he was also back in a pivot with Sambi. Kieran Tierney, I thought, had a really good performance last night. Attempted 11 final third, only completed 7, but he was up there. He was the one floating the crosses in a lot of time. But look at Sambi again. Attempted 6 and completed 5. of his final third passes. So I highlight this because to me it shows the technical security of the team, the way we keep the ball. We're good on the ball, not only aggressive off the ball, but good on the ball.
Now there's numbers from Gabriel Magalhaes that I'm going to bring up next.
Yeah.
You spoke about the centre back, and you spoke about his. He said it was roughly around 93%. It was 96%.
Oh, was it? That was
correct. But listen, completed pass accuracy, and I think that was phenomenal from him. His player stats on the screen now: 100% aerial duels won, Graham. Big, and you mentioned about how they had Mings and the comparison and contrast between those two. But Gabriel Magalhaes at the back, dominant, very much dominant. 4 clearances, 4 shots. Superb performance from him yesterday.
Yeah, I think. Look, we were up against Ollie Watkins up front. Ollie Watkins, to be fair, is a good player.
He is. No, he is.
And he, he took care of him very comfortably. You had Buendia. And I'm trying to think who was in the other wide area at the moment, but the two wide forwards that they had.
Yeah.
The back line, he reverted to 3 at the back yesterday. We had White, Saliba, and Gabriel on a 3. They took care of their 3 wide players quite comfortably. And I think Gabriel was good off the ball, on the ball. His passing accuracy 96%. He won his aerial duels. 4 clearances, so he was a dominant defensively and on the ball, and he completed 4 of his 5 long passes.
Yeah, he was superb.
He even had shots of goal. He had that early chance, didn't he?
Oh, he did. Yes, he did. It was a close one as well. But I just think Gabriel Magalhaes I think he's becoming very much a fan favourite and a leader at back alongside Saliba, and I think he dealt with a lot of their threats yesterday very well. Albert Sambi Lokonga. Now we went to him earlier. He was top of the chart for aggressive passes, but we have to highlight him in his performance because he stepped in aid of El Neni not being there, and obviously Thomas Partey. Had a lot of criticism, I believe. I think harsh criticism considering his last performances. He kind of got thrown, in my opinion, in the deep end. One against Nottingham Forest, one against Brighton, where he was kind of the lone 6, but didn't really have much support. And I know you really want to highlight him, and his numbers are here on the screen.
Do you know what? First of all, that player I was thinking of was Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey and Buendia.
I thought it was going to be Jacob Ramsey, but Leon Bailey was also
Ramsey was in midfield. Yeah, how he got away with a few of his challenges, Ramsey.
I know.
But look these numbers for Albert Sambi Lokonga. What a talent he is. 93% passing accuracy, 100% ground duels won, 6 final third entry passes and 2 fouls won. Credit to the manager here. The manager set up a system where he could thrive and be expressive and be the quality player that he is. He's a young player still learning, and I engaged with a debate in the comments on the last video about Sambi. He is inexperienced, but the thing last year, you talked about it when we come in this morning. When he played at Brighton, he was almost like isolated in that 6-year-old with no one around him. Correct. What Arteta did yesterday really well is he created a system where there was like a pivot there. Jacket was very close to him. We're going to see it in the average match positions of the players. Yeah. He was very close to him, so he wasn't he didn't have all that space around him. But if Jacket was moving forward to get forward with Martinelli, and they had some great moments in the first half. It was Martinelli's ball into Xhaka and his cross that led to the goal when Martinez spilled it for Jesus. Yeah. But also there was that brilliant moment in the first half where Xhaka, of all people, got up, nodded it back into the path of Martinelli, and that volley that would have taken the roof of the Emirates if they'd gone in. And Martinez made a good save. Martinez, we have to say, made 2 errors. Thanks for that. Last night. But that was a fantastic save. But look, I'm talking about Sambi here because I just think this lad, he's got a lot of quality about him on the ball, and last night I think Arteta created a system that got the best out of him, and that was a really impressive performance. Yeah, very mature, performance from Sambi Lokonga. Very disciplined in his position. I didn't see him get forward too much. I think he very much was secured, and like you said, the help of having Granit Xhaka close to him really aided his performance. I was very, very impressed with Sambi Lokonga, and I have mentioned in previous shows that he's gonna feature a lot this season, and I hope he really does thrive in Arsenal shirt because I like him. Very technical, mature player. Now, another person that you did just mention was Granit Xhaka alongside Sambi Lokonga. What a game he had. And many people gave him man of the match. He was my man of the match. He was yours as well? My man of the match. I think on telly they gave it to Jesus. Yeah, they did. Well, I must admit, he was immense last night. It was very hard. There's so many candidates. These numbers for Granit Xhaka: 72 touches, 100% long ball accuracy, 3 chances created. 3 chances created, 4 duels won, 5 clearances, 6 tackles. He was literally all over the pitch yesterday. He was up high, working a great combination with Martinelli, back working looking after Lokonga in the pivot. he worked his socks off last night, Granit Xhaka, and I think that was a tremendous performance. And you know, he's another of these players almost like reinvented this season. We talked about we wanted Tielemans. He's responded in that role now. And all right, sometimes you think he could, you know, you want someone more technical when he's in the box. But overall, his performance, that was a fantastic performance last night.
100%. I'm going to quickly just, obviously, it's in order there, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
So that's my graphic design in there.
Yeah, so 72 touches, 100% long ball accuracy.
2 chances created.
2 chances created, sorry. 2 duels won. 2 clearances, 1 tackle. We get that right, sorry.
No worries, Graham. Does he have a place in this Arsenal side going forward, even if we do make a sign in that midfield?
Yes.
You want Granit Xhaka to be a big part?
Look, I want players coming in. I want Tielemans coming in, or somebody coming in to challenge Granit Xhaka.
Yes.
Because when players are being challenged, they go to that next level. And obviously, you do want depth in your squad. And so, but, you know, he's saying at the moment, you know, I'm a leader in this team. He's one of the leaders in the team, of course. And he's literally sort of like playing well every week at the moment, and I don't see how you can drop him the way he's playing like this. And this is what you want. You want players to be challenged and players to be performing at the top of the game. This sort of is the elite mentality you want that creates teams that win trophies.
Yeah, let me put my hands up. I've absolutely loved Granit Xhaka this season so far, and the way Arsenal are bouncing back from you know, conceding a goal his way he has in his career so far. You saw him pick up the armband after Martin Odegaard left the field. He wore the armband, and you could see that everyone's listening to him. He's very much a leader in this side, and he really is changing his narrative. I was a big fan of Granit Xhaka's performance yesterday. And okay, so I know you wanted to discuss about the average positions from Arsenal yesterday. Very interesting. I think this is the perfect time to go to the tactical pad. So let's take a look at this, Graham.
Yeah, just quickly. I mean, you had 3 at the back there. Cecil, if you look at the average positions that I saw at the end of the game, the 3 across the back there, you had White on the right, Saliba in the middle, and you had Gabriel on the left, and then you had like Lokonga in front. Xhaka slightly closer to Lokonga for most of the game in the average match position, so that was there, and you had Tierney out on the left. Odegaard slightly back where he normally is on the right. Then you've got your 3 players. Now that was the average positions, but as I said, it fluctuated. So when for example, Xhaka was high. White, so you push Xhaka up a bit. He's up there near Martinelli, so then you've got White moving up into midfield next to Sambi, so then it becomes like a 2-3. And then when Xhaka came back, White was back in the 3. So that was like the build-up. It was more a 3-2-5. But obviously it fluctuated with Arsenal, very fluid sort of formations.
Yeah, it was. Listen, it was a pleasure to see. I can't lie. I like to see this from Mikel Arteta, that he's kind of deploying this 3 at the back, and there's 3 assured defenders. I haven't been an Arsenal fan and seen someone a back line I can really trust in. Even when we seemed like we're outnumbered, there was times where Villa were breaking, and I was like, we're fine. Saliba's going to get back in time. There's going to be people covering round, and that's what we saw. So very, very happy with what I saw. That was concrete defender from Arsenal, and I want to go contrastingly to Aston Villa's defending, and we're going to talk about Tyrone Mings and an incident with him and Saka where it seemed like I was watching WWE.
Yeah, he literally body slammed into the ground. So the referee looked at it, VAR must have looked at it. I can't see why that isn't a penalty.
Yeah, it seemed like he lifted him up and just pushed him to the side.
You know, I think we were unlucky there.
Listen, the ref at the time throughout the game where I was questioning a lot of his decisions. I know this year and this season they're trying to let the game play on and flow and whatnot, but there were some decisions that really need to be looked at, especially that one. I mean, lifting him up and pushing him to the side. I don't know any way that you can argue that wasn't a penalty, but listen, it is what it is. But Bukayo Saka, I think you did mention there. You said he didn't have the greatest of games, like you said, that he wasn't to his level. I think it's a really good game, but
he's not quite at his best yet. Things are not running for him, are they? And he had that miss in the first half.
Yeah, that miss scored.
But ultimately, he had a reasonably good game. I'm not saying he's not back at his best level yet, Cecil. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So obviously you had our 2 wide forwards in this game.
Yeah, we look at their heat maps right now.
A bit of a contrast, I thought, really, because I thought that Saka was more coming deeper to receive the ball, and he was. If you look at his heat map there, Bukayo Saka, he's on the right. He's always on hugging the touchline on the right hand side, and he's getting forward into the box a little bit on the right hand side there. He's coming deeper, more out wide. I thought Gabriel Martinelli was almost like up with a Jesus in a 2 at times, and if you look at it, he was coming inside more into the wide forward position off the wings. But it was an incredibly energetic performance from Gabriel Martinelli down at left hand side. And once again, of course, he was the one driving the team forward to get the winner. But, you know, you can see the contrast there. I think Saka's coming deeper more hugging the touchline more, whereas you look at Martinelli, he's coming more inside.
Yeah, very much. So you can see how clear it is how much this team keep their width as well. Because look at Martinelli, just right on the touchline where it's the most red. So he's really keeping wide. The same with Saka, and
but he's coming more inside into the
box area. But there's a lot of times where I'm assuming they're starting out and coming inside as well, which is nice.
If you look at it, he's a lot moving inside, just on the edge of the box there. Yeah, almost like a wide left forward coming inside. Where he took that into that pocket of space there.
Yeah, that's where he hit that volley from off the Xhaka as well. Yeah, listen, they're keeping their width and
but there's a contrast there between them, I think.
100%. And I know you want to look at you looked at the two wide players. Now we've got to go to Gabriel Jesus. I think had a phenomenal performance.
What a performance! I mean, his aggression, his energy leads the team. He's when he challenges for balls in the air, he wins balls he has no right to win.
Against Mings, who's like
Mings was 6'6",
6 foot, 6 foot,
literally sort of dominating him. And what a poacher to get the goal, responding quickly when Martinez spilled the shot. 42 touches, 74% passing accuracy, 8 duels won, 1 key pass, 3 shots, 1 goal. It was a brilliant performance.
He is becoming. I think he is.
Something like he's got now six goal involvements in 5 games.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. And if you want to add you could add on pre-season to that. That will push it. I think he had 7 goal involvements in pre-season, so that would just push the numbers up really high. So he has been from when he first put on an Arsenal shirt, even from pre-season, he's been superb. And for me, a favourite already. I really liked Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah, I think we were lucky. We got a really dynamic front three now.
Yeah.
I just want us to be a little bit more clinical in that box. We should be putting games to bed. The football we're producing at the moment and the chances we're creating, I just want, as good as these front three are, I just want to see us sort of like put games to bed quicker.
Do you worry about
when we're dominating like we are, that is?
Do you worry about the bigger teams that we could face? I mean,
it's not going to be the same. Of course, obviously,
Okay, that's why I had to check because I do fear for that when we reach.
You're not going to. That's what I mean. When you'll get fewer chances against the bigger teams. So, and I think that Arteta will know that.
Okay, now this is a section that I really loved that you messaged me and you gave me the numbers for this, and something you really want to touch on was how quick Arsenal have been bouncing back, the minutes that show the response in this Arsenal side, which we haven't seen in a while. Listen, last season, if we went down or there was an equaliser, even the fans' heads would drop. You'd feel it. I've been a player in stadiums, and you can feel that energy of the fans being undoubtful that we're going to go and score again or get a late winner or get a late equaliser. But it's been completely different this season, and here's some of the minutes.
It's one of the big changes about the team this year. The fact is, we dominate teams. Should be more ahead.
Yeah.
And if they do come back at us, we've got that desire and belief to go to respond.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be an issue for us when teams at the moment score. So if you look at these stats you put here on the screen here, we've conceded 4 goals this year. And this is the time of the responses to the goals when we conceded. So against Leicester, if you remember, we were ahead. They pulled it back to 2-1 at the start of the second half. And then Xhaka, we went straight down the other end, and Xhaka made it 3-1 within 2 minutes. And then when Maddison scored, made it 3-2. Within 1 minute, Martinelli had made it 4-2. We responded both times to Leicester scoring. Again, against Fulham on Saturday, when Mitrovic put them ahead, within less than 8 minutes, or around 8 minutes, Odegaard had put us level.
Yeah.
So last night, Villa were ahead for 151 seconds. So this just shows that the team and the fans believe, even when teams, it's not an issue for us when teams score, because I spoke about at the start of the show, teams sometimes when they concede, it gets you down for a minute or two, the energy levels drop. But this Arsenal team just want to go back down there and put something right, and it's been demonstrated now 4 times this season. The 4 goals we conceded, many of them are our own mistakes, as you've said, but we've gone down the other end and put it right and responded.
Which I'm smiling with pride. Honestly, this Arsenal side is making me so. It's really difficult because you have to really hold back because it's a long season. But what we're seeing is what's the main thing. It's always been about performances for me as an Arsenal fan. That's what you want to see. Whether we win, lose or draw, it's all about performances. But we're winning, and the performances are going alongside this with great football being played. So I've been very much impressed with this. Now you can see the the Aston Villa 3 minutes return where we bounced back and got the winner. let's discuss their equaliser, Aston Villa's, because it was from the corner. Very odd. It felt like not a Sunday league goal, but you see it on the weekends in like lower leagues where you get a goal from a corner. Obviously, the player was, I believe it was Watkins, was pushing back on Ramsdale.
Yeah. Why did he push him out of the way?
Exactly that. So I just want to mention that because when I was in the stadium yesterday, Martinez had the same issue. There was an Arsenal player on him, but instead of just letting the player be there, he was pushing them, and the Aston Villa player was also trying to get him off him, but they were both pushing the player away, and then Martinez had a free claim for some of the corners, but for Arsenal we didn't do that, we just left him.
No, the other thing I thought looking at that goal back is, well, I think we need to have someone on that near post. If they're doing an in-swinging corner into the near post, I know Jova sets them up to defend zones and positional or zonal marking and to defend the 6-yard box.
Yeah.
But if a guy's swinging an in-swinging corner into your box, I think you need someone on their post. But I agree with you. He was slightly impeding him. Was it enough to be a foul? Probably not. But the good thing is we went down that other end and responded.
Exactly that. The 2 changes, well, there was more than 2 changes, there's 4 changes in total, but the 2 changes in the players you want to highlight that came on, Eddie Nketiah and Rob Holding. Eddie Nketiah, when he stepped on that field, I mean, every time he stepped on the field.
Arteta says he sees it in his eyes when he wants to get out there and help the team. So the thing I liked about him, he drove the team up the pitch, a focal point and outlet. He drove us forward. And credit to Rob Holding, we went to a 5-3-2. So by then, obviously, there have been changes in the team. I think we ended up with a back 5. I think you had Tommy, you had the 3 centre-backs, Holding, White, Saliba and KT. You had Smith Rowe now come into the midfield with Odegaard going off with a slight knock next to Xhaka and Sambi, and you had Nketiah. The game ended with Nketiah. Yeah, that right? Nketiah and Martinelli up front. So so we responded to that low block. We're great at playing attacking football, but we're great at defending in a low block, and we saw the game out in that formation.
Yes,
these 2 players crucial to that, and I think Holding put something on his Instagram like low block. 5-3-2, happy to help the team.
No, big up to them both. Now I've got to just quickly mention Eddie Nketiah because I was critical of obviously him picking up the 14 top and whatnot and getting his new contract, but he stepped in. He's been superb so far. Yes, they've only been brief appearances off the bench, but I believe Mikel Arteta has had a really big conversation with him saying you're going to be a big part of this season, and I can see that he's buying into it and he believes that from when he comes on. He's clear that he's helping the team out. Very mature in his decision making when it comes to holding the ball and run down the clock. Brilliant start.
He got us up the pitch, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
That's the thing, yeah. And he's going to get his chance.
He will. I think he's going to be a big part of this season, and all the best to him. And I'm going to be behind him the whole way. So big up Eddie Nketiah and also Rob Holding, a great team player. Did their job superbly well yesterday. Time for closing stats, Graham. I enjoy this. Big up James. Big up James and Graham for having this section because I can sit back and I'm going to be honest. I don't get to read these closing stats from Graham. So this is all me hearing it for the first time. So Graham, let them know.
Right. Arsenal had the perfect August. 5 games, 5 wins, 13 goals scored, 4 goals conceded, 100% record, top of the league. Mikel Arteta became the 11th Premier League manager to win his first 5 Premier League games in a season. Gabriel Jesus has now had 6 goal involvements in the first 5 Premier League games, overtaking previous best Mesut Ozil, who had 5. Wow. Jesus has never been on a losing Premier League side in 48 games when he has scored 45 wins, 3 draws, which is incredible.
This is great.
Arsenal have failed to keep a clean sheet for the 7th straight game at the Emirates Stadium. Wow. But I talked about the first half dominance.
Yeah.
With Brighton, we're the only team in the Premier League now not to concede in the first half. We've conceded only 10 shots at goal in 5 first half performances. Only 3 have been on target in those 5 games. And finally, I'm going to end on a positive note because last night was Arsenal's 200th win at the Emirates Stadium in Premier League history.
Thank you very much, Graham, and what a win it was. Thank you so much for joining me, Graham, in this. And just to let everyone know, James will be returning back to Tactical Insight on Monday after the Man United game, and hopefully we can continue this run of form. Our away record is very good. You did kind of mention it there in the stats. We haven't conceded.
It'd be great if we won up there. It'd be a real statement.
It'll be amazing. It'll be amazing. I'm sure James will be loving to returning and breaking it down with you for the Tactical Insight show. If you've liked this video, please like this video and subscribe here if you're new, and let us know in the comments your thoughts and feelings on the game, and Graham will be checking. I just want to say thank you as well. I've really enjoyed being here and covering
You've done
James.
a really great job, mate.
Thank you so much, Graham. You've been superb, and like I mentioned in the first time I did cover this show, they put so much work into the number breaking and the detail they put into the breaking down of the game. So big up to them both, and thank you so much. We'll see you again on Monday. Take care.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.